turn it? All right, I'll stay. But only for one drink. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. His razors are the opposite of his act. Not terrible. Comedian and founder of Western Razor Company, David Angelo. She says, bless your heart before she rips you apart. Co-host of The Bottom Line on Fox Business, David McDowell. He made his bones killing bad guys with drones. National security analyst and Fox News contributor, Brett Villakovich. She went from having scabies to making babies. New York Times best-selling author, Fox News contributor, Kat Tiff. That's my favorite rhyme.
That's true.
Scabies and babies.
That one was accurate.
Awesome. All right. Before we get to some news stories, let's do this. Yeah, the open
Greg's
fridge.
Leftovers.
Yeah, it's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them. So if they suck, we'll send Joe Mackey to The View dressed as a cupcake. Donald Trump is planning a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania next month, the same town where he was shot. Not to be outdone, Biden will also be returning to the scene where he almost died. Joy Behar and Wanda Sykes fear that Donald Trump will put comedians in jail. Well, good news, ladies, you're both safe. A woman who ate nothing but sardines for 3 months said she lost 35 pounds and it cured her chronic medical complaints. Plus, she's got a new boyfriend. I loved his music. Disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo is reportedly considering a run for New York City mayor. He's already campaigning for the youth vote since he killed all the old people. Slight exaggeration. Only some. Joe Biden referred to J.D. Vance as a secretary during an event yesterday. Even more absurd, he referred to his wife as a doctor. Mark Zuckerberg unveiled a new holographic smart glasses this week. Look at them. The glasses will allow users to translate words spoken in foreign countries. So you can hear, what a dork in 24 languages. This week, former NASCAR driver Danica Patrick endorsed Trump and then said she wanted to help make America great again. And I say, what a better way for her to do that than to stop encouraging women to drive. Sexist. I know. I'm glad you caught that, sexism. Singer Lana Del Rey married an alligator tour guide, which might help if one day she ever opens for Madonna. Sorry. Earlier today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the UN General Assembly. To make sure that the pro-Hamas protesters wouldn't show up late, he offered to page them first. Yeah. Vice President Harris finally paid a visit to our southern border, and while she spoke to reporters, her husband interviewed potential nannies. This week, Prince Harry screamed with terror as he navigated a haunted house with Jimmy Fallon. Harry said the scariest part was being confronted by the ghosts of his missing testicles. The most sexually active woman in Australia claims she's close to her goal of sleeping with 600 men this year. I wonder if she counted those who banged her in the outback. It's a large part of the country. The ass. P. Diddy and crypto fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried are reportedly bunkmates in jail. Diddy is said to be thrilled to have been paired up with someone with such a nice rack. California's plastic bag ban is now in effect, prompting Nancy Pelosi to go into hiding. Terrible. Amtrak announced a 2-day route from Chicago to Florida. It's the only trip where a one-way ticket is more expensive than the round trip. See, because no one wants to go back to Chicago. So that's why the one-way is more expensive. Round trip. Thank you, sir. I knew that would take a while. And finally, the world's largest cheesecake was served at a cream cheese festival in New York. It ain't the largest anymore, said one man. Cheap, but it always works. All right, so 2 days have come and gone since Kamala's first big girl interview without a chaperone. And the media is beginning to notice what we've known for a while, that the more you hear from her, the more you understand why the left doesn't want you to hear from her. Check out her greatest hits from Wednesday night.
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, and we're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. That's just it. Looking holistically at the connection between that and housing, and looking holistically at the incentives we in the federal government can create for local and state governments to actually engage in planning in a holistic manner.
Just want to ask you yes or no. At any point in your life, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working out at McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Sure you have, Kamala. And Brian Stelter just opened a 24-hour health club. You know, I love how she never says where this McDonald's was. You want lies with that shake? At least working with Biden has taught her what a number 2 is. And it's not a cheeseburger combo. But the interview was such a disaster, even the New York Times couldn't spin it. They tore Kamala's interview apart like The View gnawing through a platter of pulled pork sandwiches. Here's this quote. Ms. Harris responded to the fairly basic and predictable questions with roundabout responses that did not provide a substantive answer. Or this, a hard-hitting Harris interview is still yet to come. Wow. Or this, it's not quite clear what Ms. Harris gained, aside from giving her campaign aides the ability to say she held a one-on-one cable television interview. Now, that may sound mild to you, but for the Times, that's them losing their collective. Even they knew that when she talked, she made a ball of yarn sound like Socrates. Hell, Kamala's so bad these days, it's driving some at the UN to drink. That was the transitional leader of Haiti, Edgar LeBlanc. No relation to Matt. I want to see it again. I'd say someone get that man a plastic straw. Too bad they're banned. So while they push Harris on us like a reverse mortgage on a timeshare, they also tried to hide who she really is. It's a catch-22. We're witnessing an election version of hiding the kids' presents until Christmas morning, except the gifts are a pile of wrapped manure and the parents of the Democratic Party in the media. It's the total opposite with Donald Trump. Sure, he says a lot of stuff, but within that, he breezily offers pointed specifics. And I'll take that over this game of hide and seek. Go ahead, ask him if he will settle the war in Ukraine and he will end the chaos in the Middle East.
I will settle the war in Ukraine and I will end the chaos in the Middle East and I will prevent something that nobody else will be able to do. I will prevent World War III. Do you think Biden lies awake at night thinking how are we going to get Europe to pay? No, he goes to sleep. Here's a guy can sleep on the beach. How do you sleep on the beach when you have cameras on? I will never sleep on the beach in front of live television, I promise.
Has anyone ever promised that before? Has anyone ever had to? He's pointing out that not only does the emperor have no clothes, he has no empire. All he has is a beach umbrella and memories of corn pop and cannibalism. So you got a candidate in Harris who says nothing and means even less, and you got Trump who will say whatever he wants but tells you exactly what he thinks, take it or leave it. For a media that demands transparency, it's the biggest hypocrisy of all. They pick the candidate who won't reveal her plans, perhaps because they know how bad they could be. Right, Joe?
As vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
That's what you call a sick burn. As the Harris campaign tries to find daylight between their crummy candidate and the past 4 years of hell, Joe says, hold on, kids. She was with me every step of the way, from Afghanistan to the border. Maybe he's not so demented after all. David, for those of you at home who don't know you, you're quite an accomplished comedian, but you also own a razor company. How is your razor company doing?
Well, I'm living at the YMCA right now. But, the razor company's doing good. That's the thing. I'm not taking as many profits. I'm giving it back to the people.
Really?
Yeah, these are my margins are very small.
Yeah.
I'm doing here's one thing. Inflation's a big problem in America right now. Mm-hmm. My product actually costs less. My blades are only 10 cents each.
Really?
Isn't that something made in America?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they're not flying off the shelves.
All right, well, let me ask you this. What president would best benefit the razor industry?
Well, I mean, if you don't count cutting your wrists. I'm happy to meet with both candidates.
Do you sleep on the beach?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, when the YMCA, they have a curfew at 11, so.
I'm going to leave you alone now. Dagan, didn't you find the New York Times assessment of Kamala? Like, that's their version of, like, holy crap, they're pulling out their hair. Even in that tone, you could tell they're in panic.
They were in panic. It could be worse. You need me to sell his razors for them because the wrist slitting is a one-time customer. Like, you just have to dismiss that. Dismiss that. Like, you want Trump, lower inflation, and people going out and feeling good where women actually want to shave their legs. And pits. Wait, I don't know if I should have done that because I'm not sure. They were horrified by her performance, and they're horrified about what she might say if she has to keep doing these interviews, because she's this close to letting slip why she really wants the top job. And it's because she just wants to spend other people's money. She wants to get her hands on Uncle Sam's credit card, which has no limit on it. I mean, that's really any girl's goal, right? And a private jet, that jumbo jet with the big ass bedroom on it. Who doesn't want to be able to fly on that anywhere, right, Greg? Girl power. She's the embodiment of everything that the feminists in the Democrat Party loathe deep down.
Interesting. Brett, I watched Trump yesterday. He talked for like 50 minutes. He went on a lot of tangents. But every time he went to anything, whether it was Israel or Ukraine, even England, he was aware of what's going on, and he could drop down into each issue. Are you worried? You're a foreign policy dude, that if Kamala gets elected, not only does she not know, it doesn't seem that she has a desire to know.
She has zero foreign policy experience, and that's a problem, right? I think, like, Kamala will never answer detailed questions about how she's going to govern or how she's going to be any different than what we've already seen in the White House. And let's be honest, she's pretty much had the position for the last 4 years already. And what has she done that's any different? And nothing. And look at the national security structure, the guys that are running the agencies, the appointees for our government. That's failure after failure. And Kamala and Biden, they appointed these people to this position. But Trump actually seems to have a plan. He understands the issues. He's got a plan to stop the war in Ukraine. And I got to be honest, it's really bad out there right now. We are on the precipice of another world war. Israel, Taiwan, Ukraine. We cannot have terrible leadership sitting up at the top, causing even more wars than before. And the fact is that Trump stopped a lot of the stuff overseas when he was in office, and he'll probably do it again.
I hope you're right. Kat, I was thinking about what you said last night.
What thing?
No. What exactly has she been doing? Like, okay, let's say, they say the vice presidents don't do a lot as, in their job, but that should mean that she had time to get better. She didn't even write a book, Kat.
I know.
I mean, like, everybody at Fox has written a book.
She didn't even have a meeting with someone to talk to them about writing a book to put her name on.
Yes.
There's nothing. She did nothing. But you see, things go pretty well for her when she does nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, if I would go into hiding and then I'm on the cover of Time magazine, I might go into hiding too.
Yeah.
That's what, when she's not doing interviews and she's not on the air, she has a bunch of people on the air, in print, every medium talking about how great she is without actually taking the chance to put herself out there, because that's taking the chance that she might say something wrong or mess something up. I think the New York Times nailed it, actually, when they said that there's no other reason to do this except to say she did a one-on-one interview. Well, that is why she did it.
Yeah.
So that people on this channel cannot say she hasn't done any one-on-one interviews. That's the only reason. And it was a non-interview. She didn't do great, even though it was the softest interview she possibly could have had. Because she just, would you come to work if you actually did way better by not coming?
They've tried to tell me that.
But then also there was just people on the air all day talking about how great Greg is. You just sit at home and watch it.
That is true. That's a good idea for my retirement.
I'm thinking about it for my maternity leave.
Yes, exactly. All right, we got to move on. So much more to go.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.